Disappointed, not able to win tonight, and again in front of our crowd. Great support all the way through, and gave us an added advantage tonight. We couldn't take advantage of it. And you got to give Wichita State a lot of credit. Excellent defensive team with great size. Our inability to get to the foul line and run good offense was a big difference. And then 11 made threes. Coming in the game, they weren't a great three-point shooting team, and they had some guys really step up, especially Dexter Dennis, making 5 of them. But for us, you look at the three-point shooting and you look at the free throw discrepancy, and that's a big deal right there, just in terms of how we weren't able to get to the line, because obviously we try to play a style where you can get there, and that discrepancy, obviously fouling late didn't help, but the inability to get to the foul line for us tonight, because around the basket we knew things were going to be very hard, and everything was challenged.
First question, Jeff.
Coaching is a big picture. Just starts to look to the off-season. So what are some of the keys that you're going to look at?
I haven't thought about it yet. I think one of the big things is you take a deep breath, and then you really start back up with communication with your own players, and you have to find out the next step in terms of adding players. And I think everyone here knows what the goal is, and obviously this season didn't turn out the way we had hoped as we started, but we finished. And there's some guys that will be better for that adversity. But at the end of the day, it takes time here in the off-season to really, take a deep breath. It's a long year, and then we have to make sure that our players are all on the same page as we move through the spring.
Archie, can you talk about what Juwan has meant to the program?
Couldn't obviously be anywhere without him. He was an outstanding player. He's an outstanding guy to be around every day. Battles hard, and easy to coach. Just a great guy, great teammate, but really improved. And now he's got to rest his body and get ready for the next step. And I'm, with him 110% of this next thing. I think he has a chance to be a heck of a player here for a long time. At whatever level he can get to, I'm hopeful that he's a guy that would really add value to any locker room. That's the one thing about him. He's going to get better as he sort of gets away from college and really starts to hone in on his game and his body and whatnot. But I think he's got a bright future.
Coach, the play of your guards tonight, you had some good, some bad. Your thoughts on how they did tonight?
Our guard play wasn't very good. Our shot selection was tough. Our inability to score around the basket and convert didn't get done. And if you really look at it, the difference in the game to me was just a few open shots that weren't able to go in. And played hard defensively, I thought, at times. Thought we were a little bit winded as the game went on, just not having our full depth. But I thought those 3 guys kind of hung in there, but it wasn't one of our better games. We probably needed Devontae, Rob, and Al to play as good as they have played all year with that type of defense. The guards are going to have to make plays in a game like this just because of the size around the basket and the way that they give you the lane, but there's nowhere really to go.
It seemed like every time you grabbed some momentum in the second half, Wichita went and hit a dagger on the other end. How much of that was like a lack of focus or just Wichita hitting big shots? No,
I think we competed hard, and I thought we got the game right back to right there 50-50. It could go either way there. They made the plays, we didn't. And they capitalized every single time we were right there. We could not get over the hump, whether it was a foul at the end of the shot clock, a rebound on the weak side that leads to an and one. They just made some really tough, hard plays in a game like that, and we didn't, and that's the ability of a group like they have. They're tough guys, they play hard, they've been playing really, really well here in the last 2 months, and I'll be honest with you, I won't be surprised if they don't win the NIT. I think that's the type of team they have right now, but they definitely did not allow us to get over the hump, and we couldn't get over the hump in a couple of those stretches where it was right there for the taking.
Okay.
How do you build on this postseason experience and just make sure that the guys take out of it as much as they possibly could?
More games. The more games you're playing, it's always good for your players. It motivates them in the off season on how they finish the year, sometimes good and bad. It also gives them a lot of evidence when you play this amount of games on this stage on what they need to do to get better. And without question, we had some guys here in these last 2 weeks, whether it's the end of the Big Ten or into the Big Ten tournament and then into this 3 games. They got a lot more reps, they got a lot more opportunities to play. Some guys really finished strong, some guys didn't finish as strong. But at the end of the day, there's now a clear picture on what has to be done with them as individuals and players to get better, to help us, be better in a lot of areas offensively, I think, is the one thing. But yes, the postseason always adds experience to you. You always finish on that last game, and you want to build on it.
Coach, the lack of consistent perimeter shooting, would you rank that as like the biggest offensive issue you guys had throughout the year, or kind of how impactful was that issue throughout the year?
Shooting from the three-point line is the #1 reason in many ways that our team could not get over the hump so many times. You got to be able to make shots in the Big Ten because they turned it into a half-court league, and you got to be able to stretch games out and break them open when you have your opportunities from three. And this team this year couldn't make shots. When Devontae Green, really stepped up here in the last probably 6 games, the one difference was he gave you a guy that was making shots behind the line. And just overall, guard play in general, the firepower from behind, the scoring punch, that's got to go up for us.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Yeah.